Joining me now are three of the best political analysts and CNN contributors in the country. We have New York Daily News columnist Errol Lewis, and Errol is also the host of the morning show WWRL in New York City. We have Democratic strategist Sheinkopf, and in Nashville, Tennessee, Vanderbilt University law professor Swain, and Carol served as an advisor to Mike Huckabee's presidential campaign. So we are all in a very good position to talk politics tonight. And let's start with the great question of Clinton, which really surfaced today in a number of ways. Now, Clinton won 18 million votes. Some supporters think she should have a role at this convention. She should actually be on the ballot. Hank, what's your idea on this?
Look, generally the nominee determines a good deal of what happens at the convention. This is great grist for the Republicans to make all kinds of trouble, and great grist for those who may not like Barack Obama within the Democratic Party to do the same. It's not helpful to Democrats. The nominee has the choices. This is an unfair expectation, and they ought to cut it out.
But it may not be just Republicans who are making the trouble. I mean, some of the Hillary Clinton's own supporters are saying, look, this is a moment in history that has to be recognized. Let's get Carol's thoughts on this.
I don't think anything short of Senator Clinton being on the ticket will satisfy her followers. And Senator Obama definitely needs to appease the Clinton people, and the price for appeasing them may well be a place for her on the ticket.
Mm-hmm. You know, I'd like to actually draw up something that Clinton said at a fundraiser in California last week when she was asked by her supporters to consider putting her name on the ballot. Let's listen.
Because I know from just what I'm hearing that there's just this incredible pent-up desire, and I think that, you know, people want to feel like, okay, it's a catharsis, we're here, we did it, and then everybody get behind Senator Obama.
Now, Obama talked to reporters on his campaign today on the plane, and he said that Clinton's staff, the talks with Clinton's staff is seamless, and he said it's change is more important than catharsis, and this great discussion about catharsis. You know, in a certain way, I mean, party unity is critical, isn't it, Errol?
Oh, absolutely, and I don't think a lot of Hillary Clinton supporters got the memo about change and catharsis. I think there's a lot of sentiment out there. I just did a poll. We did an online poll on my radio show, and we asked, who do you think should be the running mate? And we gave the choices of Biden, and Tim Kaine from Virginia, and all of the calls and half of the answers were for Hillary Clinton. There are a lot of people who are still in love with her. Their catharsis has not been expressed. They don't fit, you know, and it doesn't help, frankly, to have former President Clinton and Hillary Clinton making some of the statements that they have, which are equivocal. They're not absolute. They haven't lanced the boil. They haven't seen this catharsis. They haven't made it happen. So there's some kind of game being played here, and I don't think the Clintons are entirely blameless.
Go ahead, Carol.
I think that what's going on is that a lot of Clinton supporters feel that it was not a fair fight, that she lost in a fight that wasn't fair, and so they are wounded to a large degree, and something needs to be done to appease them. I don't know what. I don't think an Obama-Clinton ticket is a winning ticket, right, but he needs her supporters.
You know, I have to say that this was such a tightly fought primary season that it's very hard to de-escalate from that kind of an emotion, because it really was a very closely fought. Let me actually show our viewers the response to this. Clinton and Obama released a joint statement yesterday evening saying that the two are working together to make sure that the fall campaign and the convention are a success. And here's what the joint statement says. At the Democratic Convention, we will ensure that the voices of everyone who participated in this historic process are respected, and our party will be fully unified heading into the November election. Now, what does that do? Hank, you had some thoughts.
What it does is it tries to bring everybody together in one place. Party unity is critical. People have to make a very basic decision. Watch the Republicans laugh and keep talking about how the Democrats have to do something, or get together to work against $5 a gallon gas tank. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
At the gas pump. That's the issue here. Now, will the Republicans continue to laugh? You bet. And as this goes on, John McCain has plenty of opportunity to do what? To attack Barack Obama for being an elitist, which blends into the same problem.
Let's talk about McCain today. And, you know, he certainly has his uphill climb, too, with issues. He was in, in Ohio today, and he was in front of DHL. They lost 8,000 jobs you know, he has to deal with this economy and the whole discontent with what's happening, and the fact that he has a Republican legacy. He does not have an easy row. Carol, thoughts on this?
Well, I think the fact that he was in front of them showing sympathy would go a long way, and he was in the right place at the right time. But Republicans are simply not trusted by many working class people to have concerns about them.
Mm-hmm. You know, McCain's calling for an economic surge. These sort of campaign slogans are very memorable, very nice, but, you know, the details on this are important.
If the Obama camp has any sense at all, they will pounce on this DHL deal. I mean, it was a top McCain advisor who, in his role as a lobbyist, helped push the deal through.
Right.
It was McCain himself who helped make the deal possible. I mean, you know, this gets right to the heart of what the Obama team has been saying all along, which is that, you know, his stances on free trade are detrimental and can cost jobs. This is a perfect example of it. And if they don't make a big deal out of it, I think they're missing an opportunity, not just here, but in case after case all over the country.
Mm-hmm. You know, we reported earlier in the broadcast, but I'll bring it up again. The McCain camp released a new web ad today, and it's sound bites of various Democratic lawmakers praising Senator McCain. Let's listen to that for a second.
I know Senator McCain has a lifetime of experience that he will bring to the White House, and Senator Obama has a speech he gave in 2002.
You know, this is an odd strategy. Does it work? Does it not work?
Oh, it's not odd at all. It's very smart. What it does is it goes back and tries to undo any damage to get back to the point where McCain was the Democrats' favorite Republican. That's what they want to do. And heading it off with Senator Clinton at the front, very, very smart.
Mm-hmm. Carol, thoughts?
I agree that it was a smart move.
Okay.
And of course, it riles up those diehard Hillary Clinton Democrats all over again. And it's not something, you know, I mean, they're going to have to find an answer to this.
Let's talk vice presidential pick, and it's looking very important, or maybe you think it's not. We had Obama's potential vice presidential pick yesterday, campaigned in Indiana with Senator Bai. Michelle Obama was with Virginia Governor Tim Kaine. What do you think about Obama, the vice presidential pick, and how soon it might come? Hank?
Very important for him for a host of reasons. If the elitist tag sticks, it will be populist warfare. The Republicans have done much better at that than Democrats have. I think Evan Bai is probably a better shot than Kaine for a host of reasons. It will ultimately get down to where it's gotten down for 40 years. This will probably be the last time. It's white Catholic men, 4 states, the Midwest, 500,000 votes if it's close. Evan Bai relates a lot better than Kaine does.
Carol, who do you think will help this ticket?
I think it has to be a white male with that's older, that has military experience, something that can reassure voters that are concerned about Senator Obama's level of experience, as well as those that are concerned about race, that he has to some way reassure them. But at the end of the day, he needs Hillary Clinton supporters if he's to stand a chance to win.
Let's talk Republicans for a second. Mitt Romney keeps turning up. Minnesota Governor Tim Pawlenty. Errol, thoughts on that?
Well, I think in both cases, both for McCain and for Obama, in the end, something we don't like to sort of put a lot of stock in, but it's actually true, is how well do they get along with this person? Do they trust them? This is, you know, in some ways like their #1 cabinet member to a certain extent. And so you've got to just make sure that you're comfortable with them. I mean, the personal animosity that you saw between McCain and Mitt Romney during the primary season, is that entirely gone yet? I don't know if it is.
It's very hard.
I think that in politics that politicians can move beyond that. And so they sort of do what they have to do for the moment. And those rivalries can be put aside if the goal is to win the White House.
I have to disagree. You know why? It's never politics. It's personal. And don't bet on Pawlenty or the other fellow. Why? That's probably what the Bush White House wants. They need a populist, or they need somebody from the Midwest, or they need Charlie Crist. They need it badly. Okay.
We will continue to discuss this, I think, for another week or two while the Olympic plays out, because no one seems to be wanting to go against that kind of competition. Errol Lewis, Hank Sheinkopf, Carol Swain, thank you very much. A reminder now to vote in tonight's poll. Do you support Jamil's law and believe that LA City Council should stop protecting illegal alien gang members and focus on protecting